Imagine a vast nation, reeling from years of devastating civil war and economic collapse, where cities lay in ruin, and the very fabric of society seemed to be unraveling. The new economic policy, known as the NEP, was implemented in 1921 to address a catastrophic array of economic and social problems plaguing Soviet Russia after the Russian Civil War and the severe policies of War Communism. The core mechanism driving the NEP was an urgent need to avert total economic and political collapse. Following the October Revolution and the brutal Civil War, the policy of War Communism had been put in place. While effective in mobilizing resources for the Red Army to win the war, it wreaked havoc on the civilian economy. Grain requisitioning, where the state forcibly took peasants' surplus produce, led to a dramatic decline in agricultural output. This, combined with drought, triggered a devastating famine in 1921 that claimed millions of lives. Industrial production also plummeted to alarmingly low levels, with many factories grinding to a halt due to lack of raw materials, fuel, and skilled labor. The widespread starvation and economic hardship fueled intense social unrest, culminating in major peasant rebellions, like the Tambov Rebellion, and even the Kronstadt Rebellion, a revolt by sailors who had previously been staunch supporters of the Bolsheviks. These events signaled a dire threat to the Bolshevik regime's very existence. To counter these severe issues, the NEP essentially reintroduced elements of market capitalism. It ended the brutal system of grain requisitioning, replacing it with a fixed tax in kind, allowing peasants to sell their surplus produce on the open market. This immediately incentivized them to increase production. Small-scale private enterprise and private trade were also permitted, leading to the resurgence of local markets and small businesses. The state maintained control over large industries, banking, and foreign trade, but this limited liberalization provided crucial economic breathing room. Steps were also taken to stabilize the currency, further boosting economic activity. This was not an ideological surrender, but a pragmatic, tactical retreat, famously described by Vladimir Lenin as one step backward to take two steps forward. It allowed for the reemergence of a class of private traders and small entrepreneurs, often pejoratively called NEP-men, who played a vital role in distributing goods and stimulating commerce. This period also saw significant efforts in electrification and the gradual rebuilding of infrastructure, laying groundwork for future development. Ultimately, the new economic policy pulled Soviet Russia back from the brink of economic and social catastrophe. It stabilized the economy, alleviated the famine, and largely quelled widespread unrest, thus buying the fledgling Soviet state crucial time to consolidate its power and plan for the eventual transition to a fully socialist economy. It was a vital, albeit temporary, measure that ensured the survival of the Bolshevik regime in its most vulnerable years.